Probably 35, 40 of them scattered down the road here. Kind of resting out in the open country right now. Most people don't ever get a chance to see something like that, just sitting on the road and drive up to them and get a good up close look at them.
The greater sage-grouse is the second largest game bird in North America. They were found across 14 states in the West, but we're down in numbers. It's suggested that we had about 16 million at the turn of the prior century. We're down to somewhere right in the vicinity of 400,000 now.
The sage-grouse really is a modern-day canary in the coal mine, and that canary is telling us right now that sagebrush and sagebrush ecosystems are in decline. We actually call them an umbrella species. And what that concept actually means is that if you provide habitat for sage-grouse, you in essence cover up to 350 species of plants and animals that are dependent on that system. The sagebrush ecosystems provide a wide range of recreational opportunities, everything from hiking and biking and camping to hunting of big game and upland game birds. And these are really important activities that provide local economies great sources of revenue.
This is the forest that makes up most of the western landscape as we know it. Underneath it, we've got grasses growing, and then you can see the other plants that are forbs. And all of these are food for the sage-grouse and for the other animals that use this miniature forest as a place to live. We had 19 million sheep in the state of Wyoming alone, and they obliterated the understory for the sage. But in order to deal with what's going on now, we've had to recognize that continued fragmentation in the east by gas and oil development, etc., has been the biggest damaging factor.
So in the western portion of the range of the greater sage-grouse, probably the greatest threat is fire, particularly with cheatgrass, which is a very flashy fuel.
Nothing utilizes cheatgrass. Prairie dogs don't even eat cheatgrass, and so that'll tell you something about the plant. And it spreads very quickly. The way I come at sage-grouse is both from a personal and a professional angle. I'm a hunter and I've been hunting since I was a little kid. It's what we ate growing up, and so sage-grouse is actually an integral part to the places that I hunt. If sage-grouse aren't doing good, then pronghorn aren't doing good, and mule deer aren't doing good, and those are the things that my family eats. Ranchers know that the health of their land is dependent on diversity. It's diversity of vegetation, diversity of wildlife. The more diverse their rangeland is, the better their cows do.
The philosophy of the ranch is to continue to manage the ranch in the method it is being, as long as it is economically feasible for improvement of wildlife habitat and to continue to operate as a working ranch. And it's worked. There's an example that's prime sage-grouse habitat, and it's also prime mule deer habitat. They use the same type of plants, the same type of range. So whatever you do for one species benefits everything before it's all said and done.
The fact that an abundant, once widely distributed and fairly liberally harvested game bird is now being proposed for listing under the Endangered Species Act should be a concern to everyone. The only real solution is to develop really strong conservation plans, both at the state level and at the federal level.
What this means is that in the past we would have planned each one of these individual areas separately. But with great foresight, the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service have moved into a planning process by which we're redoing the RMPs, or resource management plans, for all of the areas that have sage-grouse. First thing that sage-grouse need to survive is good sagebrush. They eat sagebrush, they hide from predators under it, they nest against it, they spend the winters huddled to the base of it. Good, open, full expanses of sagebrush are the first thing they need.
We know what's causing it, and we know how to fix it.
All the species in this country are all a user of the sagebrush. We need to manage and worry about the sage-grouse, but we can't just manage for them. We have to manage for all species.
We seem to think that they can go somewhere else. The habitat they have is all there is.